ಹತ್ತಿರವಿದ್ದು ದೂರ ನಿಲ್ಲುವೆವು ನಮ್ಮ ಅಹಮ್ಮಿನ ಕೋಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟವೋ ಹೊಂದಿಕೆ ಎಂಬುದು 4 ದಿನದ ಈ ಬದುಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್. Ravindra Korea, Chairman of Bangalore Branch of SRC of ICI, wholeheartedly welcome for the 74th Jnanadasova live program from Bangalore branch. Today's topic is interestingly and a different topic we have chosen. The topic itself, maybe it looks like controversial. The line, it is the topic. Today's topic for the Dhyana Dasova is how to grow your practice digitally using social media. The person is going to be addressed with us from Kolkata. He is also member of Digital Accounting Board of ICI. None other than C.S. Sanjeev Sanghi from Kolkata. On behalf of all the managing committee members of Bangalore branch, I wholeheartedly welcome C.S. Sanjeev Sanghi for this program. Welcome you, sir. Dear members, the Bangalore branch, we wanted to try different topics. The purpose of the different topic is let's our members to move on and look what are the new areas. The areas will be there. Only our members have not focused. Our intention is to make members attention to the newer areas. If they are comfortable, they can choose and practice in that area and make use of this digital dunya now. Everything is digital, virtual. Because of Corona, now we are discovering how we can be lead our life. It's Corona is teaches us many things, many positive things for the life. How man will be survive in the life and how to lead. So in that motto, today's topic is how to grow your practice digitally using social media. We have chosen, and the person yesterday also has spoken. One of the member is asked, sir, is it so using social media is eligible for the practice, and whether it is allowable as a code of ethics? I told Baba, whatever today's speaker, I then immediately called speaker, then got a clarification. Then he told, yes, it's all permissible in ICA code of ethics. So Bangalore branch, it is a 74th session on this topic. If you have after the session, whatever the doubts, whatever the clarification, Sanjeev will be clarified. And if you have more doubts, we have to wait for till 28th. We have 28th session on code of ethics. So in between both sides of the river, we are showing it. Today is at this side, left side, and tomorrow is right side. Let you have to choose. And in river, we have to swim for the lead the life and do the service for the all in our professional life for the enlarging our society. With that note, I wholeheartedly welcome all the viewers for this our 74th Jnanadasova program. And also I once again welcome C.S. Sanjeev for the today's program. Members, make note that on 28th October this month, it 10th session, and all put together consolidatedly 75th session virtual CP meeting on 28th October we have scheduled. CA Dheeraj K. Sharma is going to address on the code of ethics, and our SRC chairman CA Dungarchand Jain is the chief guest and is going to address members and whatever the inputs, whatever the updates from ICA and SRC is going to speech on that. So kindly block your date on 28th October. With that note, once again I am welcoming you all. I request our Bangalore branch secretary C.S. Srinivas to formally introduce the today's speaker. Over to Srinivas.
Thank you, Chairman, for rendering a welcome address. Good evening, members and viewers, and speaker for the day today, Sanjeev Sanghi. Welcome you, sir. Members, it's my proud privilege to give a brief introduction about the speaker. He is an amazing personality with digital, so many digital qualifications. By qualification, is a chartered accountant and is a digital transformation evangelist. Sanjeev is a digital accountant. His vision and mission in life are bring technology into the CA profession. to empower his fellow professionals to achieve greater success in the profession by leveraging technology. He is a tech-savvy fellow chartered accountant with having more than 22 years of experience as an entrepreneur in international fintech industry. Presently works with hundreds of overseas clients and provides end-to-end tech-based consulting and accounting solutions. Realizing the need for consultant technological upgradation in the profession, he has authored the book The Digital Profession. Sanjeev loves to share his experiences by providing training and counseling in hundreds of academic institutes, professional bodies, study circles, and merchant forums. A multifaceted personality, he is presently the co-opted member of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Chairman of IT Committee of the Association of Corporate Advisory and Executive Merchants, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and advisor to other reputed forums. He has formerly served as the Secretary of the Eastern India Regional Council of the ICAI. Sanjeev started the Bhavishya Kiran initiative to train young graduates in software determinantal to getting decent jobs. Early in his career, Sanjeev earned a diploma in Information Systems Audit from ICA and has a certificate course in Java, Software Development and System Management from NIT. With this brief introduction, I present before you CA Sanjeev Sanghi. Welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Ravinder Kaur ji, Chairman of Bhubaneswar branch for giving such a wonderful welcome address, and CA Srinivas for giving me such warm words. So far as I'm concerned, I think my voice and my video is quite legible. I'm thankful to all the members who have given me the opportunity to speak, and today we are going to speak on something out of the box, I would say, how to grow your practice using social media. Yes, I agree that it's a controversial topic, and I have deliberated more than 15 to 20 times in different branches, study circles, and in different institute forum, and everyone is excited about it. The challenge is we know one side of the coin, we don't know the other side of the coin, and that is what we need to understand today. When the chairman Bangalore branch said that it is permissible, there is a question over there. It is permissible with a small little difference, and that we are going to study today and understand how we can really grow our practice. But before even getting into how to grow your practice, so let me first frame the whole session. So let's say right now it's 4:10. I'll be spending maybe 60 to 70 minutes, speaking and showing you different aspects of what we can do and how we can do. And then I want to give at least 20, 25 or 30 minutes of time to each and every person to raise their questions, to, put on chat, put on question answer sessions, or can speak to us. And I will love to talk to them and try and, share my experience working for last 22 years with clients across the world. Like we work for US, we work for UK, Australia, Singapore, and being a chartered accountant, how we are getting clients today using social media. So all what I'm saying today and what I'm going to demonstrate today is nothing which is just a theoretical session. It is something which we are practicing on a day-to-day life, on a day-to-day practice, and all the clients which we are working for, we got all these clients through social media, and those are retainer clients. Those are clients which are with us for last 10 or 15 years. It's not just that they come to us, they gave us a project and we did that project and it's over. It's like a recurring project and we are working for that. And how we did that and what we did that. So it's not just about building a reputation, it's also about actually working for the entire world as an accountant, and how you position yourself, how you present yourself. So we are going to talk on three important areas. Area number one is how to catapult your firm to increase your productivity, your profitability, and your efficiency. That's agenda number one. Number two is how we can really grow our practice using social media. And last but not the least, how we can digitally transform ourselves to make sure that we are not just serving clients in Bangalore, we are serving clients across the country and across the world, becoming a digital accountant. So these are the broad agendas which I would suggest those who are young members, they should definitely take note of each and every important aspect which I'm saying. Those who are senior members, they should also utilize the experience of involving many new people, new members in your profession to work on these new things because you have that experience. It's time for transformation. So let's begin this journey and let me share my screen. And I hope everyone can see my screen right now.
Yes, yes.
Thank you
We
so
can
much.
see it.
So yes, let's first go with the most controversial topic of how to grow your practice digitally using social media. When I'm speaking on this, I'm taking full responsibility and full authority of talking on a subject which is definitely accepted in the ICI Code of Conduct because I'm into the Committee of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, New Delhi. We have gone through all the ethics and we need to talk about what we can do and how we can do. And there is a very thin line of difference which we need to understand. And once we understand that, we all can definitely work on those directions. So let me move further. Yes. So when we think about social media, when we think about the most important thing which comes to us is reputation. Now, what a reputation is all about. You remember when we become a chartered accountant, it was that first initial two letters which was so important for us. And even today, when you look at Facebook, you look at other social media, you will see that adding these two letters CA before your name gives so much of self satisfaction to us and brings so much of reputation. Building that first visiting card, building that first letterhead, building that first website brings so much of satisfaction to us. And when once we share our visiting card, once we post into Facebook saying, hey, I'm a chartered accountant, it brings so much of self satisfaction to us. And what we are driving towards is a reputation. So Benjamin Franklin has said very interestingly that it takes many good deeds to build a good reputation and only one bad one to lose it. And what did we do, once we become a chartered accountant? Like 22 years back, I still remember when I became a CA, I started thinking of, going for a practice. I said in my entire presentation, I'm going to share my real practical journey and how I have actually, taken use of these technologies and, created reputation about myself and build my practice on these lines. So when we started our practice, we pick up a client. How do we get our first client? Now, that's an interesting question. Many young chartered accountants have just started their practice, come to and say, how do we get our first client? And that was a question to all of us, when we started our practice. And that first client was either a very close friend of ours who has referred to their friends or to their relatives or to a client. So we got our first client from a referral, someone who is a relative or a friend's relative or someone who is somehow connected to us directly or indirectly. And someone has told that, look, this is a young chartered accountant, he is very good in this subject, you can take a try on it. And that's how we got our first assignment. Then what did we do after that? We worked so hard on it. We put our head and soul on it. We created that goodwill. We created that impression, that reputation, so that that client gets so excited. He said, wow, you guys are doing amazing job. And they started giving us more work. Not only that, they started referring us to another friend of them. And that's how we started building our practice from one client to two, two to five, five to 10, 10 to 100, 100 to thousands. This is how we had built our reputation, in last 20 to 50 years back. This is how things used to happen. And this is how we used to grow our practice. And that was the regular phenomena. But today, the time has changed. Today, it's time where the traditional methodology of referrals are not that relevant. Today, when you are going and buying a television, you are actually going into a social media and checking for reviews. When you are going to go for a dining, when you're going for a restaurant, you go and check what's the rating for this restaurant. You go and check the menu. You want to be 100% sure that when you're going out for a dining, you want to know, you want to take a feedback, and that you're not calling couple of friends to say, hey, can I go there? You're going into Google, you're going into those sites, checking their reviews, checking their menus, checking their ratings, and then taking a decision whether you want to do that or not. Now that's called social media, reviews and referrals, which is becoming so important. Now think about you running a restaurant and you have no social media presence. People are not going to come to you. You will not be having a Zomato with you. You will not be having Swiggy with you. You'll not have rating with you, and you're going to sit just idle. Now this is, you'll say, Sanjeev, this is just for restaurant. We are professionals. We are not a restaurant. You are giving an example of a restaurant. What should we do under an existing code of conduct so that people comes to us rather we going to them? Because we cannot go out and say, hey, I'm the best chartered accountant in the country. I'm the most cheapest chartered accountant. You need to get your work done from us. We cannot do that. Yes, I agree with you. We cannot do that. That is against code of ethics. But what we can do is what we are going to talk in another 45 minutes of a journey. And believe me, those who have done that, I can give you many examples of many chartered accountant professionals who are doing this. They are talking to me. They are doing this and they got great mileage. They got a lot of clients, connects across the world doing this. So the first and foremost lesson which you need to do is to create your digital existence. We see this image. It is all about a graveyard on the keyboard. If you don't exist on social media, if you don't exist on Google, you don't exist. Now, this is a very famous sentence. If you get time, go into google.com. Very simple. Go into google.com. I want all of you to give a try to this. And please type your name on google.com. I just did mine. And see what you are getting after that. If you in Google type in simple your first name and your last name, if you see mine, I have a visiting card right over here. All the entire page is me. My book, my partnership, my Facebook, my discussions, my YouTube, everything. The first page is filled over here. If I click on images, it is all me. All my activities are here. If you don't see that in your google.com, it's time to create your existence. You don't exist digitally. It's time to create. The question, $1 million question comes is that, all right, how to go about it? One, and what's the benefit of it? Well, just keep patience for another 30 to 40 minutes and we will talk about how to do that and what's the advantage behind it and what are the different steps we need to do. It's not just a step of just creating an existence. There are a bunch of hundreds and 200 steps which you need to take to actually, magnetize yourself, actually, pull people towards you. So let's get next. I want all of you to please write down questions, whatever comes to your mind, because it is very important for all of us. My goal today is another 1.5 to 2 hours to at least give you at least minimum 5 or 10 tips which you actually practice and work upon and not just listen to this. As we discussed, the traditional way was shaking hands. Now we cannot even shake hands due to pandemic. We cannot touch any people. So the traditional way was to go and meet people, go and get referrals, working with them for some time, creating that impression and going forward from there. Now today is digital way where you are sitting anywhere, doesn't matter. Your client can be anywhere and your employees can be anywhere. So in the entire office, there are 4 or 5 elements. Element number 1, client, that can be anywhere in the world. Number 2, your team, that can be anywhere in the world. Number 3, the documents, that can be uploaded anywhere in the world. Number 4 is the system which you are going to work upon. That's on cloud. Again, you can work anywhere. Number 5 is managing the team, process, documents, everything. That can also happen online. think about a situation that your practice is now not limited to a particular locality, to a particular location. You can have clients anywhere in the world. You can have a team anywhere in the world. You can have your process, your documents, your work management, your applications, your accounting softwares, your payroll softwares, your GST software in any servers anywhere in the world. So you have a remote office, a remote employee, and a remote client. So it's time to learn this new way of, if I at all want to integrate all these things together, how can I do that? One, and how I can pull in those clients so that they get attracted towards me and they actually comes to me and become my client. That's the whole purpose of this entire presentation. Let's learn how we can go about that. The first step which you need to do is create your digital visiting card. Now, Google is the most searched engine in everyone is on Google. Whatever you want to search upon, you see it on Google. Number one. So the first and foremost thing is to, get yourself searched on Google. Go into business.google.com. If you see over here, business.google.com, and it's a very simple process of just creating your firm name, your address, your mobile number, everything, and that is coming up as the first thing. Before even going to that, I need to first clear the blockage of whether it is under code of conduct or not. So let's first clear that blockage. So Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, in fact, it's very good to know that tomorrow you have another session of Code of Ethics, and I want you to check on that as well. Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is very clear on the website guidelines, on the social media guidelines. They say there are two models. One is a pull model and one is a push model. What's the difference between a pull and a push model is, a push model is something when you are pushing information, when you are actually, creating a rosy website with rate charts and saying that, we have the best offer for you. We are the best chartered accountant in the country. We are doing this great. So when you are speaking out about yourself, when you are pushing things, when you are trying to push information, when you are trying to sell yourself, that is against code of conduct. But once, if you are talking about yourself, you are talking about your expertise, you are talking about your research, you are writing an article and demonstrating, you are creating videos about yourself, and we are going to go through all of that. You are creating your persona, you are creating your reputation. People are coming to you to know more about you. People are coming to your website to see good articles written by you. People are getting attracted to you and creating an impression that you are a GST expert. You are an expert on transfer pricing. You are an expert on mergers and acquisitions. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have very good knowledge on mergers and acquisition, and you create a website and you start writing articles and you start creating a WhatsApp group with a broadcast list, and you start sharing good inputs, good content on how merger and acquisition happens. What are the top 10 tips behind it? How you can make it happen? How you can save taxes on that? That's not against code of conduct. But what you're doing is that you're creating your reputation. You're creating your persona. You're creating your image that people after 6 months to a year or 2 years starts talking about you that, hey, he is an M&A expert. If they have any questions, they call you. They comes to you and say, hey, I have a client who is looking for this. Can you help me out on this? Because you have created a persona, and Institute is not against that. That's a pull model where you're pulling people towards you instead of pushing things. So I hope that is clear. If still you have any more questions, I'll definitely answer those questions. But if I want to go through the journey of a pull model, what all I need to do? Number one, if I create a visiting card where I'm creating my firm name, I'm creating my contact information, I'm creating about me, my firm, that is a pull model, that is not a push model. Let's move further. Have a website. Now, very interestingly, I know many 90-95% of chartered accounting firm doesn't have a website. And the big question which comes is, do you think, Sanjeev, I'll get a client if I have a website? Yes. In today's world, yes. Now, I know out of those 10% who have a website, 90% of that doesn't know what needs to be there in the website. And I will talk more on that. Uh, the first is 90% of people don't have a website. That is so important because people look for you in the website. People search for you. People wanted to know about you. And I never believed that. When I started adding the analytical tools to my website, I get to know that there are thousands of people who are going into my YouTube channel, who are going into my Facebook account, who are creating likes for me, who are actually going to my website. I see, wow, this guy is actually, coming every 5 or 6 times in a month, reading my article, reading this and that. So how will I get those analytics if I don't have a website? So the first thing is, do have a website. Now the question is, what should we have in a website? And then 90% of the people fails. 94% of the chartered accounting firm fails of not knowing what they need to have in a website. The first wrong thing which we do is we call a designer or a website developer and say, "Mera ek website bana do. Please do a website for me." He doesn't know what you want. It is for you to conceptualize. What do you want to have in that website where people can get attracted towards you? Now, many websites which I've seen says, well, I'm talking about my mission, my vision. What's the mission of my firm? What's the vision of my firm? What's the purpose? What are my team members? Who are my clients? And, about us and all the great good things which you are doing. Client doesn't care about it, sir. They don't care about it. They want to know how you are a differentiator. They want to know what's your specialization. They want to know what is that one thing which I can take from your website, something which is important. They want to see your hard research which you had done in last 20 years of how to successfully grow a tea industry. Let's say if you are a tea industry expert, they want to read that article. They want to read that content. They want to listen to your video. They want to know something special which you are doing, which they want to learn from you. They want to see you as a differentiator in this industry. They want to see that value. And if you can, and they want to see your presence in the profession. They want to see how big is your team, or are you specialized in a particular industry or not. So all these things becomes very important for you. That should be the part of your website. And I'll just give you one example if I want to do that. If you want to take a note of this, I just consulted one of our client. I'll just show you what should be there, which is again in the code of conduct, talking about insights, talking about the services which you provide, talking about why you need to choose us, because we have industry depth knowledge, we have this, we have engaged client, talking about in the news, talking about client speaking about you. Instead of you speaking about it, client is actually speaking about you, how great you are, how you have helped them. Come up with those success stories, come up with those case studies that a client is talking about that in their website, that, hey, I hired this firm and we were so unorganized and we were having so many problems. And when we hired this firm, they had done so many journeys with us. They have done this transformation. They have given information at the fingertips. People love to read stories. People love to see how you had created a trail of experience in last 20 years instead of just having a few page website talking about your mission, talking about your vision, talking about a page of your partners, talking about like all of these will be there. But the homepage should talk about how you are a differentiator. What is that value you are going to provide? So those things we are going to talk more details on. But if you start your journey creating a website, the first thing is that register a domain. Now that domain cannot be a domain which says bestcharteredaccountant.com or this is the topmost charteredaccountant.com. Again, if you do that, that's against code of conduct. But if you are talking about a firm name, try to keep it as small as possible, and try to have .com as a domain as far as possible. So don't come up with ABC, XYZ and associates LLP.com. Are you getting me? So again, you understand if it is too small and simple, people love to type it. And this should relate to go in the Google. To create the website, have a domain, get the hosting done, and get a right simple design. You don't need a complicated design, a design where client can actually see and know what is there for me and what I do need to do next. Two things: what is there for me and what I need to do next. These are the two questions that needs to be answered in the conceptualization stage when you're conceptualizing the website. Take a PowerPoint, take a Word file, or if you don't know how to do a PowerPoint or a Word file, simply take a piece of paper, draw, go through 10 or 15 websites which you like, draw what you need, try and create an image of that, and then call your website developer and say, hey, I need this 5 or 10 pages website. Can you do this for me? So the conceptualization part needs to be done by you and not by your developer or your designer. That's the biggest mistake we do. We in this transformational journey have to take the entire responsibility. It is our responsibility to make sure that we are driving the organization, rather our team or the vendors driving the organization. This is the most important journey which we need to take. A transformational journey of becoming from caterpillar to butterfly. A journey from becoming caterpillar to a website. Yes, Vivek, I'll answer this question a little more further. Then the second question, second step which you need to take is workflow. Now, there are two types of one is what we do in our internal organizational workflow. The second is, you can create an automated marketing process. Now, all I'm talking is, again, a very interesting thing. I was consulting one of my GST expert, and he came up with an idea of, Sanjeev, can we do a GST health checkup for our clients? And can that pull in more clients for me? I said, wonderful, you can definitely do that. So he said, a lot of people has given me the visiting cards. A lot of people I meet through seminars and conferences. So I have a data of around, let's say, 3,000 people. Now, but out of that, I have only 200 clients. How can I add more clients to that? I said, very simple. Put those 3,000 data into a Google Sheet and then create a Google workflow automation process. And what that automation process is, you can learn this going to YouTube and find out what it happens. I can just give you a broad overview of that. You put a Google Sheet with 3,000 records. You integrate that with an automated survey. You create a Google form survey, and that survey you send it to as a link to those 3,000 connects. Hey, this is a financial health checkup, and what we are going to do on this and how we are going to do on this. Based on the data which is collected, you can definitely start filtering things, and you can get those services done for those clients who gets interested upon. Again, what you are doing right now is basically creating an aura of a financial health checkup where you are trying to distribute informations. You are trying to give things. You're not trying to take things. While distributing things, you get to know who are the people who are interested in taking those informations. And those becomes a lead score. Those becomes your most positive contacts and connects, which I'm going to talk once we go more deeper into this. But this is how you can automate a process of, automating the payment, automating the Google Sheet forms together to create an impact. And this is the whole step which is there. The analytics part. So once you have the website, make sure that you are attaching a Google Analytics to it. That will help you to know that who has visited your website, how many times, what is the score behind that, from which country. You'll get to know which page they have accessed, everything. Once you go more deeper, this is free. Google Analytics is free to get connected with your website. But if you want to know more better things, you can even go through CRM, through Net Results, through Salesforce. Or those are tools which will allow you to know which page of that website a client has visited, why that page is getting more accessed, and you can create call to actions. We are going to talk more on this, but you can create a lot of call to actions where you get to know who has visited your website, and they can download things, they can fill up forms, and you can create organized database. So again, let's understand this whole process of reputation. And I run a very interesting thought over this. If I say you a word called Amitabh Bachchan, what is the first thing which comes to our mind? He's a great actor, right? If I say to you Sachin Tendulkar, cricket is immediately coming into our mind. If I ask you a very interesting question, I always ask when I do a session on Bangalore, if I say you Madhukar Hiragange, immediately GST is coming into our mind. If I talk about Venugopal, if I talk about Raghu Raman, all from your Bangalore branch, immediately GST is coming to our mind, right? That is called reputation. You need to choose in your current situation whether you want to be a service expert or you want to be an industry expert. So out of these two, you need to take one. If you become a service expert, because this reputation, one name has been given by our family, one name we has to build ourselves. We have to go through a process of specialization, go through a process of expertise, and make sure that we are actually building this reputation for ourselves. That is so important. When I talk about reputation, these steps of creating a website, like what we do today, just to make sure that you follow this process, we work only on pest control industry, which means all the clients which we have today, all the clients which we have today are all pest control companies in America. We started this journey 15 years back when we used to do where we used to have all the clients, we used to work for every type of clients, and then we thought, you know what, we have a specialization on the pest control industry. We understand the clients, we understand that mechanics, we understand what's the labor cost, we understand how they should spend money on their customers to get more customers. So we started developing those insights, and then we start building pest control, chart of accounts. We started, creating a process of reconciling their CRM with their accounting software. So we started developing various other things which their chartered accountant, their CPA firms were not doing. And slowly today, when we go to a pest control company as a new client, they come to and say, you know what, we had been working with our CPA for last 15, 20 years, and they had been doing our accounting, they had been doing our taxes, they had been doing all our filing services, but they don't understand our industry. You guys understand our industry. You understand each and every problem which our industry faces. You have solutions to all the problems which our industry is facing, and and you help us grow. Now, this is what I'm talking of as an industry expert. Whether you become a service expert or an industry expert, but gone are days to be a general service provider where you are doing everything. Even if you have multiple departments, develop each and every department as a separate expertise on that area. Create case studies for that. And on this area, these are all the steps which you need to do. The second important thing is blogging. Now, this is how your journey of reputation starts. First you have to make a mindset. And that is very important. I always say there are three things to transformation: a mindset, a skill set, and a tool set. A mindset is something where I want to transform myself from a caterpillar to butterfly. A mindset is something where I need to lead from the front. A mindset is something that even if I don't understand technology, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to drive it. Because I started my journey 20, 30 years back all by myself. Even at that time, it was a challenge. Even at that time, I had no clients. Today, I'm going to start that same journey of learning the new ways of doing things, learning the new ways of working on these things. And that should be the first and foremost thing to develop that mindset. The second important thing is skill set. Acquiring necessary skills. Now that you can do yourself, or you can even delegate to your young team members, but developing skills like learning how to create website, going into data analytics, going into different other tools, that skills is important. Learning good Excel, learning macros into that, Power Query, like all those are skills which you need to develop to transform yourself, to automate your practice. Learning Microsoft, learning SharePoint, learning Google Docs. There are 100 different things which you need to learn. But those are stuff which are called skill set. And the last but not the least is the tool set. The tool set is so important for you, where you need to know what are the right tools for me. Now, when I do a lot of presentation on how to work from home using right technology, then what happens is that many questions comes to me and say, Sanjeev, give me the right software which I need to use for uploading a document. Give me the right software which I need to use for blogging. I've given all these tools, but there's no such tool which is the best tool. Every tools are great. And it's a journey of cloud computing where you pick up a tool and see how comfortable and convenient you are. And if you don't like that, change the tool. Go for the next tool. It's just like an Uber drive. You pick up a Uber, you go to your destination, and then you take a next drive. You're not attached to it. There's no emotions for a software. So create the right tools. So mindset, skill set, and tool sets are three important pillars for you to have a transformation. And what we are talking today is a shift of mind. It's a shift of process of developing clients from traditional process to a digital process. Now, in this process, you need to learn how to create a blog. Now, what a blog means, basically your research, your experience, your journey, your case study, what you want to write, what attracts people. A very important question which came to me in one of my presentation was, Sanjeev, I have a WhatsApp group of around 5,000 professionals and clients, and I share due dates, I share compliance calendar, I share all the important notification. Am I building reputation? I said no. You are not building reputation because this is not created by you. This is not a hard research of you. What you have done special, what you are developing yourself, you need to build. It's like become an entrepreneur in your organization. It's a very interesting concept. We all are entrepreneurs. We all who are practicing are entrepreneurs. What we need to learn today is to become an intrapreneur. Now, what's the difference between these two? When I say entrepreneur is basically identifying that right thing inside your organization and creating the value for the client behind it. The best example I can give you is, we used to do lot of reports, management clients. For all our clients, we used to give them monthly management reports, monthly reports, and they used to love that, seeing the performance. And then we started feeling, what? This is getting more and more repetitive. We need to create more value. We need to make it more interactive. And then what we started doing is, I'll just show you that live example. We created a digital dashboard through the format of a visual story. Well, just because it's confidential, I just wanted to show you one screen where now a report is connected to the client's accounting software and basically pulling the data and showing them a live dashboard real time. And then when we call the client, we talk to them and we say, this is your revenue, this is your P&L, this is how you're growing. We double click that. We show them in different graphical formats. And now this becomes a separate startup for us. So what we did with our existing client, we created a new industry as an entrepreneur, and we started developing that for our client. This is the whole journey which we have done. And that is what we need to learn and work upon. That is the objective which I'm trying to say over here. So through blog, you are creating that journey, a journey of making the people around you know that you are an expert in pest control. You are an expert in tea industry. You are an expert in real estate. Making the people around you know that you are a transfer pricing expert. So you have to select whether you want to be a service expert or you want to be an industry expert. And according to that, you need to move that journey forward. And blog helps you do that. This blogging helps you do that because through blogger.com, you can create blogs and it is free. Tumblr, Joomla, there are many softwares according to that. The next thing is YouTube channel. Again, this is a very important channel, which, just give me a second. The most important thing is that you need to have your own YouTube channel. I'll just give you a very good example of what a YouTube channel power is. We go to YouTube channel and YouTube got thousands of advantages. The first advantage is that you learn everything what you want to know in your life. I have learned my entire, I've done hundreds of sessions on advanced Excel, on macros, on Power Query, and I've learned all through YouTube. It's a great source of learning. But then the second big thing is, how can we create our reputation through YouTube? Let me show you two examples. I think you all know, from our chartered accountant fraternity, Bimal Jain. If I click into Bimal Jain and I click over here, we have got 43,300 subscribers today. 43,300 subscribers for Bimal Jain, and he has uploaded almost 220 videos on YouTube. And if you see over here, 7,600 views, 3,000. I'm not trying to promote Bimal Jain. What I'm trying to say is this is just an example. But if a client get to know, if a client search in Google that, hey, I want a GST expert, I want someone who is really good in GST, and immediately he see, well, this guy is talking about overview on intricacies in zero-rated supply. Well, this is my problem. He goes and listen to the video and connect with that guy and say, hey, I want to know your service. Is he falling under code of conduct? No, because he is not saying in his video, please come to me. He's not saying in his video, you need to become my client. He's not saying in his video, I'm the best person in this industry. He's just trying to share a GST knowledge. And this is how we need to create a pull model for ourselves, create an aura for ourselves, create a persona for ourselves, start creating video for things which you know well. If you had been doing something really good, start creating those case studies. Start creating, like if I show you, like I'm not, if I show you my YouTube channel, and creating a YouTube channel is just a 2 minutes job. But if you click over here, Sanjeev Sanghi, though I have got 870 subscribers, but I've got all the videos on how to digitally grow, how to secure your office, cloud accounting, and all the Excel videos. So many people just go there and listen to this, how to effectively manage your work from home. And we have got all 1 hour, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes video. So what am I trying to do? When a person comes over here, they get an impression that Sanjeev is a technology guy. He's trying to automate work. He's trying to bring efficiency. He's trying to revolutionize and try to make everything digital. That's the journey which I wanted to take, and I'm working on those directions. So you need to select your journey and take it forward from there. And these tools are going to help you do that. So YouTube is a great tool. Once you start thinking about an area, and you can talk to me very openly. Once another 20 minutes, I'm going to end up, and then we'll have a lot of time to talk upon of, I have this plan. Please suggest how I can take this forward from zero to end. And there's a clear-cut, organized process of doing that. Webinars. This is a great opportunity for you to do a lot of webinars. Like when I'm doing this webinar for a Bangalore branch, I'm doing it for Delhi, I'm going for different places. They send me a recorded video of that. I upload that in YouTube and I create a persona for that. So you can start doing these webinars as a training for your team so that you can strengthen your employees' quality of work, your training. You can do it for your clients on a weekly, on a monthly basis to share what all you are doing and how you are doing. You can share it with your peers to create your reputation. So this is how you have all these 3 places where you start doing webinars. And webinars are great. You can have 5 people, or you can have 500 people, or 5,000 people. It doesn't make a difference. You can do it through, like right now we are doing it on Cisco, but you can do it in GoToWebinar, Google Hangouts, Zoho, Zoom. All these tools are available, which allows you to create your persona, which allows you to create that name and fame about you so that people know you with that particular experience. Podcast. This is again the next future. This is a great future. Like Shailesh Haribhakti is my partner. He has just created a podcast which was, visited more than 15,000 times. In a Mann Ki Baat of Narendra Modi, you all know. Now people are going to get more and more busy. They are not going to listen even to. They are not going to even listen to this. These videos of yours. They're not going to sit and listen to you. They want to go for a gym. They want to go for a gym. They want to go for different things, and then they want to listen to you. You're going to talk about, all the different way of reducing taxes. You're going to talk about how you can automate their work, how you can bring value in their work. Because you know that in real estate, what all those 10 things which needs to happen that real estate which nobody else knows. And that is your experience which you have learned in last 20 years, which now you need to prove, which now you need to put that on a digital media, because people are going to look at you, your menu of services, your expertise only through social media, only through your website. So great, Sanjeev. Everything is great. Now I understand that the power of social media, the power of persona. But the $1 million question is, how do I collect client? How that client who I don't even know, who has not been referred to me, comes to me and become my client, and that is again within the ICI code of conduct. Let's talk about that. So then the next step you need to take is to install or initiate a tool called CRM, which is a client relationship management tool. A little technical, which requires you to take a little training of maybe 15-20 hours, not more than that. Or you can hire a developer or a vendor for this. But I will always suggest you to do it yourself. The more you do, the better you are. There are many tools like Zoho CRM, Salesforce, Net Results. There are many tools, thousands and thousands of tools. You can go into Google and search for that. And then you need to configure your CRM tool with all your social media accounts. You need to configure these tools with your website, your email address. From all the places, you need to configure these tools into Facebook, into your Twitter account, into your LinkedIn account. You know, again, when I talk about Facebook, this is very, very interesting to share with you that I see many professionals, when they use Facebook, they talk about, the nice hotel they went to, the nice, nice place where they had spent time with their family and friend. This is a huge responsibility. These social media is a tool which you need to use to develop your persona. If you scroll through these tools, any person going into your Facebook should get a feel that what you hold expertise upon. If you're talking about the entire world and not about what exactly you are developing or building upon, you're not going to create that persona. If you are a QuickBooks expert, then you need to talk about QuickBooks every week. You need to write an article on that. You need to create a video on that. You need to start, promoting yourself of how good you are in QuickBooks, and then people will get to know that you are a QuickBooks expert. I have a website called QuickBooks Online, and every week I get 3 to 5 inquiries that we want to learn QuickBooks. I've done nothing on that. All I do is I just post a video. If you know Rishabh Pugalia, I'll just give you many chartered accountant professionals who have done so many great things. He's an Excel expert. Today, he doesn't do work. He only works for Big Four as an independent consultant. And he just pushed one video every week and gets more than thousands and thousands of likes on that. People across the country listen to his video because he has got that expertise on Excel, which nobody has. So that's how you need to become a differentiator. You need to separate yourself out from the professionals, and that you can do with all the experience you had and all the research which you do, and start creating your own product, your own service, and start promoting that through this social media, through your expertise channels. So become a magnet to attract clients and use funnel marketing. Now, this is little technical, but I'm trying to explain you so that you get a feel of it. So let's say you got those 3,000 data. Those 3,000 data gets inside that. And then what happens is, in each and every process which you had actually attached your profile, your firm profile with Facebook, with all the social media, anybody clicking on like, your CRM tool will get to know about it. Anybody going to your page in a website, they will get to know about it. Anybody is doing any activity anywhere in the world in your social media accounts or into your website, they will get to know about it, and they will create a lead score, just like a TRP. They will create a lead score. So I'll give you a case study, a very interesting case study, a case study of our industry, the pest control industry. I can do the same thing for real estate also. But this industry we are very close to, so I'll be more deeper into this. So when we started this journey, today we have a database of around 5,000 people. And now what we started doing is we have taken our account our net result, and now we are promoting every week a nice article, a nice video on how you can, like, I'll show you the articles how we attract people in US. We continuously write blogs and videos and all talking about how this pest control industry, what's the value to this pest control, how PPP, which is basically a refund loan in America, 1 minute management report, putting together a quick report that will help you grow and improve your business. Power recurring revenue when it's time to sell, putting pricing and error efficiency together to maximize profit. Client loves to read all this. 5 reasons to work with an accounting firm that specializes in pest control industry. Plan to sell or pass in business. Taking the pressure off. 4 P's of pest control marketing. Now imagine a situation if a pest control company reads this article, what's the impression they're going to get? Well, my accountant is only talking about taxes. This guy is talking about my industry. And their interest grows. They start reading more about it. Then they see that we have been doing accounting for them. We have been doing taxation for them. And we are also doing management related features for them. Now they said, well, this is the right choice for us. So this is how they start reading it. After 3 months to 6 months, we get to know that out of those 3,000 contacts which we have given over there, there are around 100 people who are reading all our articles, who are reading all our blogs, who are filling up all the surveys, listening to all our videos. They got the highest score. When we call them or they call us and they fill up a form, they say, you know what? We know you for such a long time. You guys are doing an amazing job. You understand our industry. We want to be your client. This is what your journey should be. This should be your vision. This should be your goal. But to do that, you need to develop that entire menu, that entire product, that entire service, which you had been doing for last so many years. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, this is how anybody who write anything on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, it immediately picks that up and it actually puts that into a lead score. There are many tools like Constant Contact, from where you can send emailers, Mailchimp from emailers to your client, Zoho, and all you're not going to send is you are sending informations. You are sending, support system. A very interesting example when we talk about 1 minute manager, and I always give this example, start giving your client a performance report. A brilliant question which comes up is says, Sanjeev, the client never pays for it. Why will I do a performance report for them when they never pay for it? Well, if you have 500 clients, doing that report, if you perform a system, maybe for the initial setup, it will take you a couple of months. But after you do the macros, you do this Power Query, and you know how to connect data and all the data is together, it will take you maximum 1 hour to build a 1-pager, a 5-pager report. You send it to them free of cost. Trust me. Do that for a couple of months. And then you drop the attention that says, sir, from this level to next level of a 10-pager report, I'm going to charge you X amount. I'm telling you 20 to 30% of that client will be converted because they want to see the pulse of the business. They want to see where they are standing. What is wrong they are doing? What if analysis? What if they do this? Why their GP is down? What is the right decision for them? There are very few chartered accountants who are actually rendering this value-based services. So we have to shift our focus from compliance to reliance. Services where we are sorry. Where we are not just focusing about just doing a tax filing services. That is definitely there, but those are going to be taken up. I don't want to get into a session wherein we are talking about artificial intelligence, RPA, data analytics, and all our existing work is going to get automated. But I just wanted to share my story. When I started this KPO industry 15 years back, 18 years back, I used to do write-ups, which means I used to get a PDF file with thousands of transactions. And I used to go into a QuickBooks and used to enter those transactions manually by myself or by my team. Today, that job is no more. Today, we don't need to enter a single transaction. It actually syncs with the bank and pulls all the transactions and posts it. Today, we are not able to enter payroll, which we used to do in a bunch. Today, the entire information is processed into a tax file, and the taxation, 80% of the taxation work is done. Budget is done. The graphical report is done. So literally, we are left with nothing. But I have grown 50 times because I've increased the value. Now we are giving them analytical report. We are giving them forecasting report. We are giving them more better tool, more better way of understanding the business, what they were not able to understand before. Before they were only concerned about, you know what, you just file my taxes, I'm happy with that. Today they want to work with us to grow their business, to expand their business. So we have run that value chain from being a compliance manager to a business development manager. So this is the journey. And when I say business development, we are not going and push sales for them. We are not going and doing their sales process, but we are guiding them through technology. We are guiding them through data, because we are better in data on how they can transform their business. So this call to action in your website is very important. Let's say you put up a good research, and you have a 20-pager report on what are 20 tips to grow in a pest control or in a real estate industry, and you have all the accounting related tips, tax related tips, finance related tips, GST related tips. And what if you open an office in Singapore? What if you do this? If you, let's say you're working on transfer pricing, and then you have that report, and when a person clicks on that, you want to collect 10 different information from that person. So that creates a list. And once you share this, you get to know that there are 1,000 people who actually download this report of yours, and those people wants to know more about you. So you start building that change, start building that database, make them more engaged to you, make them more attracted towards you, and slowly create that as a product and services. What is Bimal Jain doing? He's not giving up everything. He's creating, small snippets, small information, which is a good information for everyone. But if you want to know more, you need to connect with him, which he's not saying, but people gets to know about it. So that's so far as this is concerned. As I promised, I'll take 1 hour, and I'll be happy to answer question. If you want to know more on, working home, I just want to pick up 1 or 2 slides on automation of technology. Just this 2 slides which I wanted to cover is to make sure that is your social media presence good enough to attract future clients. I'm just going to ask you questions, and this is the answer which you may not give me, but please note this question to make you a digital accountant. Is your social media presence good enough to attract future clients, which we have discussed in last 1 hour? How do you manage your, yes, Sweta, we will do that. I'll do that. I'll send it to the chairman and he will circulate to the entire crowd. How do you manage your data manually or on the cloud? Yes, you need to learn how to be paperless. If your office is not paperless, if you are not able to manage your office, your team, your employees, your documents, your clients, anytime from anywhere, creating a social media presence is the secondary step. The first step is to make sure that you are self-sufficient to manage your accounts, manage your clients, manage your team anytime from anywhere. And for that, the first step is to go to paperless. To do that, again, 2 tips. Try working on Google G Suite, try working on Zoho, try working on Microsoft. All these are great tools to help you go paperless. Can you access your financial information anytime from anywhere? You need to switch your accounts and your client accounts to cloud accounting. Accounting where you are integrating your bank, you're integrating your payroll, you're integrating your GST real time. That is cloud accounting. Accessing a accounting software through a server or through a VPN network is not cloud accounting. So you need to think about, and today I think QuickBooks was there, then Zoho Books is there. They are 2 good tools which are actually on cloud accounting. Maintaining your schedules, to-dos, there are a lot of tools on that. I can quickly roll on that. Mobile banking, I guess everyone has. Contact management. We have so many visiting cards, so many people we meet together, so many people, but I don't know out of 1,000, there is 1 person who is actually digitally managing their contact, where anytime when they know, what, I want to know a person in Calcutta who is good in technology, immediately you type into search and immediately Sanjeev Sanghi comes over here. That's what you need to do from the entire world, where you are putting in couple of searches and you find those filtered of people who is matching those criteria. Think about a situation like that. You met a person 10 years back and immediately you're looking for that person. You got a client and he's looking for a sales tax arbitration, and you are remembering, I had met someone, but now you don't remember them. You don't have any connect with them. You don't have his number, and you lose an opportunity. Do you have a dashboard for your client status ready? Now, this is so important. You need to have a project management tool and we do that. And I can show you a quick clip of that how we manage a client. This is our own proprietary tool, but I can just show you Managing 1,000 clients at a click of a button, how this is possible is over here. Sitting over here, I quickly get to know what is my open work, and I can be anywhere. All this work, I got 480 tickets which are open by individual team member. I can go into one of my team member, Anvesha, and I get to know that she had 23 tickets open, of which she has taken 4 as a priority today. I can click into any particular ticket to see what that ticket is all about. It's a ticket of a closeout with what is done, what is the work instruction behind it, who is going to do it, what needs to happen with that. If a client calls me and say, hey, what happened to my work? All right, I don't know you. Please tell me your name. He gives me the name. I click on that name. I hit search. At a click of a second, this is what I'm talking for dashboard. At a click of a second, I get to know who the client is, who are the people behind that, what are the works we do on a monthly, quarterly, regular basis. I know what are the open works as on today. Why is it open? Is it because it is waiting for document? Is it because it's waiting for queries? So at a click of a second, without even calling a team and getting a whole board meeting, that hey, this client called me, you tell me, and then everyone is running for files, everyone is running for information. I get to know that this is the actual status of work. So this is how we need to learn how to get our dashboard of a client status ready. So a few mantras for you: go paperless, manage work anytime from anywhere, employee motivation. You need to install a system wherein you can manage and track your employees anytime from anywhere, which means their pay slip, their accounting. Great HR is a great tool that is from Bangalore. You can think of Great HR. There are many other tools. I can give you 100 tools. I'm not recommending, I'm not a solicitor of any software or any program. Every tool is great, but you can do scorecards. Once you have a lot of senior partners or employees in your organization that have been with you for last 10 or 15 years, the challenge which happens is, how do you grade them? How do you give them a performance reward? That you can do through balanced scorecard, wherein you are creating attributes that, all right, how much is it involved in training the team members? How much is it involved in creating social capabilities, in automating, in creating all these things? So different attributes you create and start creating points behind that. And once you allocate and make that transparent to the entire organization, and everyone needs to review that and work on that. And based on the highest point, like if a person is getting from this percentile to this percentile, they're going to get 30% revision. They're going to get 20% revision. You can create your own employee growth plan. Client engagement, training, reputation. I just covered today reputation, but there's a whole bunch of transformational journey which you need to do in your organization, which I always say, a new mindset is a new result. So these are all the tools which we have. This is a long presentation. If ever I get an opportunity, I can definitely go through all these things. But today, when we are talking about how you grow your practice, it's all about creating a social brand and creating your own position, own branding of getting people know. If people starts talking about you, if people starts talking about you for that services which you are really good with, that's the goal you should become, and that can happen in 2 to 3 years. The last example which I wanted to give only for the young members and also for people who really want to go through that journey: data analytics. I know a person very closely who started this journey just 1 year back. He came to me and he was having an experience of 3 years in Deloitte, having an experience of 2.5 years practicing, and he was totally confused. He came to me and said, I had an experience of Deloitte. I have an experience of working as a practitioner. I'm lost because I'm not finding interest in both the journey. What's the next which I can do? Then I asked him, what did you do at Deloitte? He said, we used to do data analytics and we used to do all of that. But since it was too monotonous and I was not allowed to do what I was supposed to, I was not finding interest on that. I said, start that journey again. He said, well, that was Deloitte. If I start doing data analytics now, how will I get a client? I said, please do a start creating your reputation. Believe me, he spent 6 months learning this entire data science and gone into Python, into R. And then he started, giving programs. He started creating his reputation. He started creating case studies. Today, in just 1.5 years, he has 15 people working under him, and he's making 4 to 5 times more than what he was making when he was in Deloitte. And he's so happy working for it. So this is how you can create your reputation, your positioning, and choose a career which is either an industry expertise or a service expertise. And all these tools are going to help you reach your dreams. Thank you all so much. I'll be very happy to answer as many questions as the time permits. Over to you, Sir Srinivasa, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there are some few questions I'll just tell.
Sure.
One member is asked whether chartered accountant can advertise in internet. That is his first question.
So
Second,
advertisement you cannot do. What you can do is, as I said, if you are talking about soliciting work, that is against code of conduct. But if you are trying to share your expertise, if you are trying to share your knowledge, if I am good in Excel and if I'm creating training videos for that, I'm not saying anyone to come and take training from me. I'm just sharing my expertise. So it's all about how you share your expertise, how you position yourself and attract your clients to come to you. So if you do that advertisement, it is under a push model and not a pull model.
thank you, sir. And another question is, can we enroll in Just Dial?
You can, but if you can enroll in Just Dial or any simple thing, but there you have to just blankly fill in your firm name and your primary data, just what you do for for doing bank audit, the profile which you have, those data is relevant if you are doing in Just Dial. But if you are trying to prove over there that you are the best person in GST, that is against code of conduct. Again, anywhere where you are using adjectives, where using best person or the cheapest person, if those adjectives are coming in, then it is against code of conduct.
Sir, if it is a free listing or paid version of Just Dial,
Whether it is free or paid, whether it is free or paid doesn't make a difference. As long as your intentions is to educate, then it is not a problem. If your intentions on the social media directly is to get clients, then it is against code of conduct. You have to go the other way of route of attracting people and taking it out from there.
Is email marketing is allowed under code of ethics? Is there
So
anything mentioned? What is the content should be in email?
Again, yes, email marketing is a very nice strategy, but again, the content of that marketing is more on the knowledge, is more on the information, is more on downloading a case study, is more on downloading a research, is more on presenting your subject paper. Your email marketing should not be about your firm and you are looking to get work from them. So if you do that, that's a push marketing. If you are sharing, let's say you have got 5,000 email addresses and you are sharing your experience to them, you are sharing a research to them, and you say that if you want to know more, click on this button or contact us, that is not against code of. If a person finds interest, they call you and then they become your client, it is not. But if you write over that you need to become a client, that is against code. So there is a very thin line of difference where you are not soliciting, but you are sharing information. You are educating people. You are proving your strength to the entire world of what you do and how you are helping the society.
That mails can be sent among our clients and friend list or even unknown persons also. Is it okay?
Yes. If you send to an unknown person, make sure that it is a subscribed email. What's the difference between a subscribed email and unsubscribed email is, generally in India, people don't object. But if they object, they can even put that on a spam. A subscribed email is something where you have tried through your CTA call to action in your website. You have actually taken the email address where they said you can send me free notification, you can send me important informations. If they subscribe and given the email address to you, that's your subscribed email. Then you are 100% secure. Then you can share more information to them. You can drive that. But if there is someone who has blocked you and still if you're sending them, they can file a complaint against you.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have mentioned about using CRM tool linking to the social media. How is this different from using Google Analytics?
So Google Analytics will only give you a statistics of who has traveled your website. This is a shorter form of a CRM. Though it is not 100% different, it is going to give you a bird's eye view. That should be your first journey. That's not your end journey. That will create your excitement that how powerful Google Analytics is that. CRM is taking actions based on those analytics. So now you can create your flow chart, which means I'll give you a flow chart. Let's say I create a flow chart of getting a client in 3 months. So what I will do is that I'll make 12 articles or 12 action points. And let's say there are 12 weeks behind it. I'll make 12 actions. And I will design that in that CRM that my first mail will go like this. Those who have read it, they will receive this. Those who have not read it, they will receive this. So I'm creating a flow chart. Those who have read this, now this is the second thing which is going to go. Those who have not read this and has not read this, stop. So this is how I can create my flow chart. And what I get to know that out of those 3,000, there are 300 people who have always said yes, 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 and read all my newsletters, have read all my surveys, have listened to all my videos. So those are those 200 or 300 people which I really want. And then I can design a separate strategy for them. So this you can do through a CRM, but you cannot do this through a Google Analytics.
Thank you, sir. Is having a Google business profile that comes up on a Google search permitted under the code of ethics?
Yes, because there you are only putting your company name, you are putting your partner's details, you are putting your address, you are putting your phone number, you are not soliciting anything. That is definitely acceptable under code of conduct.
One more interesting question regarding BNI. Can we join any business network group similar to BNI outside India without attracting ethics?
I think that question, the best answer will be given tomorrow. But according to me, it's a debatable question. Many people are doing this. They are joining professional network outside the world, outside the country. I am not sure what institute action is on that. But if you talk on the principal level, it falls on the same line as BNI.
Thank you, sir. I think we are it's the end of questions from the members. Really, okay, one more question. How about non-professional networks? Again, regarding BNI only is talking about international non-professional network.
Yes, again the same answer. That see, I will always prefer a journey where I'm building myself. I will not prefer a journey wherein I am just giving my profile and say give me work. So give me work is something which is not there. You need to create that work. So today, what we used to do, a defined work is no more relevant. What is happening going forward is the work which is not existing. So we have to create that work. So if we are not building ourselves for that, how are we going to create that work? So what we are looking for is the work. Let's say if I talk about bank audit, it's a created work. If I talk about a GST audit, it's a created work. Those work slowly and slowly are going to get lesser and lesser, going to get more and more competitive, going to get more price sensitive, and going to get more value. The value is going to get lesser and lesser. Instead, we have to start working on the direction of coming up with those service or those product, which is actually a new product, which creates value to that organization. And if you can do that, if you can create that built on you, then you are, having a differentiator role than compared to other professionals.
Okay, thank you, sir. I have one more question. Is sharing professional knowledge on social media platforms such as LinkedIn, blogs, FB, giving your contact number and email ID, is it permitted?
Yes, yes. But then when you are giving your contact information, you say for any further queries, please contact us. You are not writing, if you are looking to get the services done, please contact us. There's a thin line of difference. So if you want to help them answer those queries, if I'm giving this presentation, indirectly I'm telling that I'm a technology expert, but I'm not calling you and saying you can call me or you can do this. It's just the same difference. So if you are sharing your professional knowledge on LinkedIn, it's a great idea, but then you cannot write over there for any further assistance, please contact us. You can write for any further queries, please contact us.
Thank you, sir. We are done with the questions from the member. Really, you have changed our mindset. You showed us the using social media from personal to professional. How can you build from ad to attract possible future clients? and how to you can develop it as a link for your professional browsing to brand building. You showed the way how we
Thank
can
you so
use our
much.
social media. Really, it was a fantastic session because generally we have from so many professionals and members ways we can develop our profession on social media, but we didn't know in a micro level. But you showed that today. I thank on behalf of Bangalore branch of ICA and all the members viewing today for your sharing valuable knowledge, sir, and time and effort, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone has enjoyed, and I'm looking forward that everyone should, start taking that first step of creating a website, of creating that digital visiting card, creating their own blogs, coming with their own YouTube channel, and slowly developing internally a product or a service inside their firm, which is going to be a new product or a new service which creates value to the client in a particular industry which they are the best in. Thank you all so much. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all the members for actively participating. Thank you.